Hi everyone, my name is Sade James, and the lesson plans that I will be discussing today is called Dine Rice and Pasta. I will be using the material rice to do the lesson plan with the students. The state standard that will be addressed in my lesson plan is from the Toro GSE Candidate Learning Outcomes. DKS3 demonstrate how to connect concepts and various strategies to engage individuals and promote critical thinking and creativity. The student that the case study is based on name is Jack, who's 4-year-old and is in a preschool. Jack is a student who has developmental delay, specifically speech delay. Therefore, in the lesson plan, I made accommodations for Jack. Jack's developmental delay affects his speech. I have adapted the dyeing rice lesson to a pre-K class of 10 students. Cook, Clan, and Chan stated on page 264, children who are hypersensitive or underreactive to sensory may appear withdrawn, disinterested, and have difficulty engaging. Jack has an IEP, which allows him to have a para. Therefore, before the activities start, the teacher will allow Jack to feel the texture of the rice before doing it with the entire class to assure that he is not disinterested or triggered. Cook, Klein, and Chan stated on page 287, learning how to use language in socially appropriate ways with various contexts is crucial to the successful development of communication skills. Therefore, during the lesson, the teacher will make sure to speak loud, clear, and make eye contact with Jack to assure that he's understanding the lesson. The teacher will also use repetition to assure Jack is following along with the entire class, such as students repeating keywords and the teacher verbally saying instructions more than once. Due to Jack's speech delay, Jack's seat is in the front of the classroom. Jack is provided audiobooks, videos with subtitles to enhance his speech. The audiobooks will help Jack with his pronunciation of words that support the book's illustrations, such as the videos with subtitles. To begin this lesson, the teacher will be greeting the class and get the students energized by doing attendance and a fun icebreaker. The fun icebreaker will allow the teacher to introduce the lesson smoothly. The teacher will introduce the lesson of the day to the students by asking how many of you boys and girls have a favorite color, and then telling them to raise their hand to answer. This will allow the students to think and share their personal likings. The teacher will ask Jack if he would like to share, and his parent may assist if needed. Jack chose the color red. Next, the teacher will inform students that they will be focusing on the primary colors and that the class activity will be coloring rice, one of those primary colors. The teacher will then introduce the students to the materials they'll be using. Ziploc bag, food coloring, rice, paper towel, and alcohol. To ensure a smooth transition, the teacher will provide students with a handout with the word and color of the primary colors. The teacher will then pass around the first material for the lesson, which is the cup of rice. This will allow students to feel the texture of the rice. Cook, Clan, and Chan stated on page 246, most practitioners are familiar with children who demonstrate tactile defensiveness or hyperreactivity oversensitivity to touch. These children resist touching or handling common materials and textures. Passing around the rice will allow Jack a second time to get familiar with the texture of the rice, since he didn't show any signs of defensiveness the first time. The teacher will continue with instructions such as allowing students to choose the primary color and food coloring they would like to use. Students will verbally say the color they will be using. Having students verbalize the color they are using will help Jack with practicing his pronunciation. The teacher will then give each student a bottle of food coloring regarding the primary color they would like to use. Each student will get a bottle of food coloring, whether it's red, blue, or yellow. The teacher will use a checklist to monitor and observe students individually and refer to their expectations or current level of progress. This will allow the teacher to keep track of students' progress and highlight any students that need extra attention or support. The most importantly, the checklist will allow the teacher to keep track of Jack's progress with speech. The teacher would provide the students with the 3 final materials, which is the alcohol, paper towel, and Ziploc bag. Together, including the teacher, the students will begin to add the materials into the Ziploc bag one at a time. The teacher will inform students to use the cup to measure the alcohol and to only use 3 drops of food coloring, because the more food coloring you use, the darker the color is. So they will start with the first ingredient, which is rice. Then the students will squeeze alcohol into the bowl and pour into the rice. Students will then use the food coloring of their liking. I will use red since that is what Jack is using. The teacher will then instruct to seal their Ziploc bag tight, like so, and to move the material around, like so. Cook, Clan, and Chan stated on page 249, teachers of preschoolers should provide many learning opportunities for the development of fine motor skills through developmentally appropriate activities. This quote represents challenging students' motor skills with different tools. Also, sealing of the Ziploc bag and moving the material around will focus on the fine motor skills. Cook, Clan, and Chan stated on page 246. Fine motor skills involve more precise movements of the small muscles, especially those of the eyes, speech, musculature, hands, fingers, feet, and toes. The teacher will then ask students to say the primary color of their neighbor's rice to assure students are paying attention and only focusing on the primary color. This will allow students to verbalize not only their chosen primary color, also allow Jack to explore verbalizing other colors and words. Students will then pour their dyed rice onto paper towel due to the rice having to dry because the alcohol has to absorb. The teacher will continue the lesson with students writing their primary color on an index card. Red would be written on one of the index cards because that is the chosen color that Jack chose, followed by the teacher handing out primary color wheel. Students are to only color the primary colors on the wheel using any coloring material of their liking. To extend the lesson, the teacher can provide Jack's parents with a primary color video to watch at home. And as a whole, the class can play I Spy, only identifying primary colors within the classroom. Thank you for watching my video, and this is how the rice looks when it's all dried, and students can use it as a sensory tool. Attached below is my lesson plan, and again, thank you for watching my video.